y'all, it's Jasmine, Black Girl Therapist in the Wild, LCSW, and I have invited you all to my birthday feast. Yes, today is my birthday, and I figured I would talk about how weird it is to be in your 30s. I am 33 today, and yeah, figured I'd do it while eating. Finally got my crab legs. These are scallops, and these are king crab legs. I figure I would, treat myself and keeping a lookout for this little one over here that wants to eat things that are mine. Doesn't belong to her. So she knows better though. She knows not to come over here. We already had a conversation. So yeah, being in your 30s. So lemon pepper wings, lemon pepper scallops, and lemon pepper crab legs. As you can see, I like lemon pepper. So yeah, being in your 30s. I got this idea from this YouTuber named Star Puppy, and she does this thing about being in her 20s, and I was like, you know what? I'm gonna talk about being in your 30s because it's weird as fuck. So pretty much when I turned 30, you have this expectation of something new and being grown and all this other stuff and all the bad things that you went through in your 20s and the mistakes that you made. Well, now it's over with. Now you don't have to deal with it as much and you're smarter and all these things. But no, in reality, you just give less fucks pretty much about life in general. And you start to care more about yourself and your own feelings. And this is, of course, coming from somebody with various different privileges that, has a roof over my head and stable job and stable income. I mean, the experience of somebody and their environment is going to be different based off of their environment, of course. So this is from my perspective. Maybe, if you guys hear some things in here that tickle your fancy, you can chime in like, hey, yeah, that sounds familiar. But yeah, anyways, I figure, now I'm 30. 30 is going to be different and great and grand and wonderful. And, 30 kind of felt like still being in your 20s, still unsure, but a little bit more stable because you start to traverse that lane of giving less fucks about what people think, about what people want, about what people feel about your life, and you care more about how you feel about your life. And, that can go either a positive way, where you work on all your things and you focus on yourself and you don't care what anybody thinks about it. Or it can go a negative way, where you justify all the negative traits that you have inside of you, and you just go down that lane in that pool of toxicity even further than you were ever before. And now it's justified because you're in your 30s and you don't give a fuck. I choose to try to work on my bad habits and bad natures and all sorts of things, and not care what anybody else thinks about me working on myself, even if that means, certain people can no longer be in my life because I am working on myself and they are not helpful. So yeah, that's a part of not giving a fuck, is getting rid of the negative people in your life too that you don't really care about. You start to take care of your skin more because you want to take care of yourself more. Start taking care of the way you dress more, or just caring less about what people think about the way you dress. So you can dress any way you want to at this point without being like, oh, I should follow the latest fashion trends. Who gives a fuck? You see I'm in a onesie every video. Okay. You have more goals towards your future, your career. Have a better idea of where you're headed towards. Things are still confusing though. Not necessarily like they were in your 20s, but still, go away. Stop it. Go away. Not necessarily like they were in your 20s, but still confusing. People are still asking you, when are you going to have a kid if you're single and you don't have kids? you know, or you don't want kids, it becomes even more of an urgency of, oh, why don't you have kids yet? Well, sir, ma'am, for the ones that do want to have kids, some of us want to be married first, and that takes two people. So those questions become more deeper, and people keep being more rude, because I just feel it's rude. Why the fuck are you asking me that? That's none of your business. How about that? How about that? You know? And maybe a little bit more irritable, because people still want to try you. You know? And I'm tired of being tried. I am. And I refuse to put up with being tried. Yes, sir. Ma'am. Whatever. I know you better not jump over here. I know we don't do that in this household. You know what type of households do that, and that's not one of these households. No. You go away. Go do something. Go contemplate your cat life. Go away. I know. I never kick her. Don't come for me. You just wave something in their face, and then eventually they get away from you. I don't know if she thinks I'm going to hit her, because I've never hit her. Sometimes she likes to play with the thing that I wave in her face. Like if it's a rag or something, she'll try to hit it. But then if I wave it fast enough, she'll be like, oh no, it's going to hit me. And then she'll run. That's the only thing that I've found to stop her from doing things. Just wave something in her face. Don't hit her. Because I'm not spraying liquids in my cat's face. People are all like, take a spray bottle and spray. I'm not doing that. I'm not doing that. Go away. Come back. Go. Go. I'm not doing that. Because, you know, I'm not going to be, that's abusive. I feel like that's abusive. I'm not hitting my cat. Oh, it's on the table. It's on the floor. It's everywhere. Oh, well. I'm going to hit my cat and I'm spraying shit in her face. Anyways, so yeah, as I was saying, give less fucks. And people keep asking you when you're going to have kids. As if it doesn't take two to tango. As if finding a nigga is just that easy. You know. And then they have the audacity to ask, oh, well, do you want kids? Well, it takes a nigga to make a baby, ma'am, sir, person. You know. So those questions get worse. And, you know, you just don't let people try you at that point. Because it's irritating. And it's annoying. And it's shut the fuck up at that point. That's what I give. Especially when it's a doctor. I've had a doctor ask me that before. Like, ma'am, that's none of your business. Can you go back to checking my body? You know, just irritable. Irritating. Anyways. What else is in your 30s that's interesting? And weird at the same time. Men, a lot of them, in their 30s, they'll act like they're in their 20s. You know, play games and have a bunch of bitches, and they're just more, you know, they're just more honest about it, I guess, some of them. Now a lot of them are like polyamorous. And I think a lot of them are not ethically polyamorous. They're just out here saying they're polyamorous so that they could justify the fact that they like to cheat. Not all of them that say that are that. I don't care what nobody says. No. It's empty, so you can play with that. So yeah. Men are still doing the same thing. Messing around, lying, bullshitting, and stuff like that. If you like men. I don't know how it is for lesbians. It seems like a lot of people that I know that are lesbians seem to be in happy relationships. Or just anything that's not a heterosexual relationship. They seem to be... Not everyone that I know, but a lot. You know, I do not have a cracker for this. And these spikes hurt my hand. There we go. So, that's about the same. Men mature slower than women, so emotionally. Now, if you went through stuff when you were younger, you know, as a woman, and, you know, well, as a cis woman, I'll say, because that's my experience. If you went through stuff, if you were traumatized when you were younger, and you haven't worked through that shit, like I said earlier, you will mature about the same rate. Emotionally. as the age that you first experienced your trauma. Stop it. Go away. And so that's why you see a lot of 30-something women justifying their toxic behaviors, mental health issues, and so on and so forth, because that is the age most people, not just women, stop maturing emotionally. Is the age where they first experience their trauma. And now at the age of 30, you just justify it more. You feel more justified in traveling and getting the fuck up out of here. That's what I was supposed to do for my birthday. I don't care. I'm going to mention it. I'm going to bring it up. This shit hurts my feelings. I'm at home eating crab legs on YouTube for my birthday. So, you feel more justified in getting the fuck up out of here. Ooh, ooh. Oh, it's a mess. And not being here. And more motivated to, here, you can have that little bit. Go away. More motivated to budget and save and invest your money, because it gives you rewards like getting the fuck up out of here whenever the fuck you want, and can't nobody tell you nothing. And that feels so good. Whereas before in your 20s, you were still close to your teenage years developmentally. And so, you know, those feelings of guilt and shit like that will come along and make you feel like, oh no, I have to, no more, no. I have to, you know, be this and that for these people in my life. No. You know, unless, like I said, you went through something, you were already having toxic tendencies, and now they're just worse now, and you justify them even more because you are, you know, in your 30s. You don't give a fuck. I just wonder, where does the level of not giving a fuck go as you age? What does that look like? I don't mean like in a toxic way, like I'm gonna hurt people and I don't care. More so in a way of, you know, I'm more and more not caring what other people think about what I do with my life every day type of shit. It makes it weird to make friends though. When you're in your 30s, it's gonna be a little bit harder to make friends than you were in your 20s. Because it's like, I've never been a club person or a partier like that. I just kind of went along with it when I was in my 20s. Just because that's what everybody else was doing. But in my 30s, I'm just like, I'll just flat out say, no, I don't want to go. I don't like going to the club. It's too many people. It's stinky. It's hot. I'm not a club person. But, you know, that makes it a little bit more difficult in your 30s because you like meet people at the club. Meet people at the club, get to know people. That's what a lot of other people are still doing. I'm just more justified in that I didn't like it when I was in my 20s, and now I'm fine with saying no if I don't want to go in my 30s. That's what that is. So, I mean, I'm not saying that you stop clubbing when you're in your 30s. You know, I'm 30-somethings in the club. Older than that. I don't like to go. I just don't like to go. I want to go to a lounge. Maybe an occasional bar. Mostly a spa though. Or hiking, traveling, things like that. You expand your horizons of what you can do for fun in your 30s. You know, so that's something. And you're okay with the fact that you want to do those things for fun. That's amazing. Whereas before, when I was in my 20s, I probably would have been like, I don't want to tell people that I like to go hiking because then they won't like me. And then they won't want to go hiking with me. And I have to do it by myself. And now I'm like, oh, fuck. That's what I like to do. You don't want to do it? Okay. And you're more fine with going places by yourself. Because people, if they don't want to do it, oh, fucking well. I'll do it by myself. You know? Because I don't feel like dealing with other people's like, oh, I don't want to do this because it's blah, 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 and such and such. So that's kind of cool. I feel more able to embrace my inner child than I was in my 20s. In your 20s, it's like, and maybe it was just the time that I grew up in, because I'm noticing a lot of 20-year-olds are, you know, embracing their inner child and doing cute, fun things and colorful things and stuff. Ugh, just a mess. And so maybe it was just the time that I grew up in. You know, people were less open, you know, but as time goes on, people become more open. So you experience these things that you might experience in your 30s, younger and younger. But I don't know. You 20-somethings can let me know. I feel less lost financially, career-wise. In my 20s, I didn't know what the fuck. I just knew I needed to get a job and, you know, maintain that job and maintain the career path that I was on. And I needed it to be a steady job. But now I'm like, okay, well, now I want my own shit. And when I was in my 20s, I might have been scared to start my own shit. But now in my 30s, I feel like, you know what? I need to use up all the paper towels. I need that tissue later. You know what? Doing your own shit isn't that bad. It's a little scary. It's a little weird. But it's not that bad. I'm about to go get some juice. But yeah, anyways. Being in your 30s is cool. It's just also there's a lot of weird stuff that happens. A lot of I don't give a fuck stuff that you didn't think you would ever feel. And that's kind of cool. That, you know, I was able to get to the point where the things that I was worried about and fretting over, men and certain positions in life and friendships, now that I think back on it, I'm just kind of like, wow, that was a lot of wasted emotions I could be using on other stuff. You know? And it's mind-blowing. Why are you getting on it? Stop getting under the thing. Go back. Because I really had a lot of emotions about the things that I was going through when I was in my 20s. Not having a car, riding a bus, caring about all these things, about all these ways that other people felt. Now I'm just kind of like, I don't know. Made a list too. Let me see. Oh, another thing that happens when you get older. Everything you liked as a child or as a teenager is racist now. No, and they were racist back then, but you didn't really realize just how racist it was. You know, I think social media and technology has helped a lot with that, in that, you know, like I was watching Soul Plane yesterday and I had to turn it off after a while. I was like, they for real was making fun of these Muslim people on the plane. And I was like, this is racist. I mean, when I first saw it, I didn't really think too much about it. As a kid, you don't think too much about that shit, especially that it's not spread out like it is on, you know, social media. So it's kind of like you didn't hear every single day why something is racist and why it's problematic and why it's wrong. And so when you finally like get to the point where you're 33 and you see this movie again and you're just like, oh, this is racist. This is wrong. So yeah, I turned it off. I was like, okay, this isn't as funny as it was when I was a kid. So yeah, TV characters, cartoon characters, didn't realize that they were whole racist, you know. It's weird. It's really, really weird. I'm probably not going to eat all this. I'm not a big meal eater. So I probably would be a poor mukbanger. Because I don't eat big meals like that. My family has a predisposition for fast metabolism. So I'm never really going to get super big, but when you have fast metabolism, you can't just eat like a big meal all at once. It's more so like you eat a bunch of small meals during the day. So I'm probably not gonna eat all this. Which is cool because this gives me a chance to save it for later. Nothing wrong with that. Oh, let me see. What else is on my list that I forgot to mention? Oh, everybody younger looks like they glow with youth, and you have to keep putting the serums on to keep your shit glowing. So true. Everybody that's in their 20s looks like they're 12. Like everybody I've come across, most people, they look like they're 15 or 16 or 12, and I'm just like, oh, I have to like do a skincare regimen to keep my shit from wrinkling up. Like they probably just have to wash their face with soap. And then I just imagine like all the skincare stuff that I missed out on when I was younger that I could have been doing to make me look even better now that these young people are doing, because on YouTube and stuff, you know, skincare regimens and shit like that. I'm not doing none of that. I didn't do none of that. I used Proactive when I was younger. That didn't work, so then I went and would buy like a new skincare item from the drugstore every week. I think I went through all the Neutrogena stuff, all of the Clean and Clear stuff, everything. And I would just have acne all on my cheeks. It was horrible. And I'm just like, if I had known about this stuff, imagine how much better I would look now. The scars that just wouldn't be there on my face. So I'm just like, y'all young folks are lucky. I swear for God. The government is trash and you're even more aware of it now. That's something else that I learned in my 30s. Like, it was always this way. It's nothing different than it was in the 90s. Like, I mean, we had the whole crack epidemic. Like, that wasn't, like, nothing's different. It's just, it never registered with you until now. Like, this whole COVID-19 thing, like, it's worse than the Ebola virus. But, like, for a lot of the kids that I'm speaking to, like the littler ones, they don't register this shit. Not really. I think the only reason they register it is because they don't have to go to school. But for the most part, most of the kids I'm talking to are bored. They're like, whatever about this illness. They're like, oh, well, you know, we don't have to go to school. And I feel it, because that's how I was when I was a kid. The SARS thing, what else? The swine flu. I think I got the swine flu though. And that's the only reason why I, remember the swine flu. Like, I remember it because I think I got it because I had like this really bad illness, and I had like this migraine that felt like there was a knife being stabbed in my head, and it was around the same time that the swine flu was going around. So I think I actually got that. But Ebola, nobody registered that shit. When we were kids, but now you have to pay attention to it. It's affecting your money, affecting your bills, and then you go think back on your parents. When, all the shit that was happening in the 90s and all the shit that happens in the economy over and over again. And you was just like, I wonder what my parents were actually going through. Because, and then you think, well, I was a little shithead and stuff, because that, like, if they were going through the stuff that I was going through, that I'm going through now, and we were poor, so it was even worse. So, and I was a little shithead brat, not even registering all of the seriousness of all the shit that's been happening around me. That shit is weird as fuck, y'all. You really step back and think in your 30s, or maybe even in your 20s, I don't know. But I know that in my 30s is when I really stepped back and saw my mom as an individual person that went through stuff and experienced things that were horrible. And she still had to maintain because she had to take care of me. Like, I didn't even know how bad shit, really affects an adult person, especially not with a child. So, shit is weird. Shit is weird. And what else did I put? Oh, I'm getting closer to God. Like, a lot closer to God than I was before. Before, he was just like this entity that was in the sky that I was supposed to like listen to and you know, read the Bible and go to church. But, you know, I never really prayed like that and stuff. But, you know, I don't know, something in my 30s made me want to go, you know what, I want to get closer to God, because I want shit to stop happening. It's bad. Let's see what this Bible here is saying. And, you know, read a lot of the Bible. Shit started to make sense. The shit that I was reading, I was like, oh, you know, this makes sense. You know, I'm going to trust in God more. And stop being a whole bitch about things. And stop trying to do everything myself. And act like I don't have God there to help me. So, like I said, God makes my heart sing. If he doesn't make yours sing, that's perfectly fine. Just detailing my experience. All of these things that I've experienced, especially in my 30s, and mistakes that I made in my 20s, shit that I worried about in my 20s, ways that I was shy and uncomfortable in my 20s, I use with my clients now. They tell me the same shit that I went through. And I'll be like, you ain't gonna care about that shit in a few years. I don't say that, of course, but most of the shit you worried about now in your 20s, you ain't gonna care about that shit in a few years. Trust. It's just like what they told you in high school. Once you get out of high school, you're not gonna care about that shit no more. And you know, most of the people from high school that was popular are working at McDonald's. Because usually the popular people were the ones with that bad attitudes and didn't want to try as hard. They just flowed on their popularity and treated everybody like shit. I'm not saying all of them, because I went to high school with some folks that, you know, they were popular, but they were nice, and they went to college and they did stuff with their lives. But 9 times out of 10, them people that you were bullied by or that you looked up to turned out nothing with their lives. And I think being aware of that is important, because everything is a cycle. A cycle of stuff. It's going to keep happening the same way over and over again until you realize your own power and how much in control of your life you actually are. Because at the end of the day, if you cool with living out in the wilderness and getting away from all this shit, you can take a plane and fly to an island and live there. Ooh, is this dripping? I don't think so. And can't nobody find your ass and live like, you know, Tom Hanks did on that island with Wilson. You're going to have to give up a lot of shit. But, you know, if you really want control of your life, you can do that shit. Get out of the governments and all this other stuff. Find you there. You know how many uncharted islands there are in the world? Save you up like, I would say, $20,000 to $30,000 to get you to an island and have you living there. Because you don't need that much money. You just need enough to get there. You can build you a little shack on the island. The island got food on it. You learn how to fish. If you really wanted to get away from all this, you could. It would be weird and it'll be different and it'll be difficult. But you never really change things until you realize how much power you have. And you don't have to do all of that just to realize your power. I mean, you could just realize it and realize the things in your life that are trying to control you. And ask yourself, do you want those things to actually control you? You know? Or do you want to move away from those things? You know, and form your own self. Like me, I always wanted my own business. I always wanted my own shit because I don't like being told what to do. Like, don't tell me what to do. It's been a slow process, but for me it has to be slow because I only work well with structure. I need things to be structured a certain way. I needed to go to school. I needed to go to college. I needed to go to grad school to have a degree that I could take anywhere basically. And now I can do what I want pretty much as long as I, you know, take the steps to do it and not act impulsively. So, yeah. I mean, as long as you're under a government, you're always going to be controlled in some way. I mean, there's taxes and all sorts of stuff. But there's still ways that you can formulate your life so that you can still have the things that you want to have. Takes a while. Takes a lot of work. Takes a lot of dedication. But it's worth it in the end because I could not be at a regular 9 to 5 every day listening to what these people are trying to tell me to do. I could not. I can't. I'm sorry. I would go crazy. But yeah, let me see. Is there anything else as far as being in your 30s? Oh, your body gets weaker. So even if, I exercise and I lose weight, my joints are still going to fall the fuck apart. There have been moments in my life where I've just taken the initiative and I'm exercising 3 times a week, going to yoga, doing aerobics, doing weight. My joints are still going to fall the fuck apart. The only thing that's helping my joints really is going to the chiropractor and doing the exercises for my joints specifically that the chiropractor tells me to do, and getting the chiropractic massages once a month. If I didn't do that, because since I was 12, I slouched, and that fucked up my whole left side of my body. So the chiropractor basically had to rebuild everything from the ground up, as far as the weak joints. The weak knee on my left knee is the weakest one. My weak left ankle, it just went all the way up and down, because everything's connected in your body and everything's connected in the world. And so going to the chiropractor, getting the chiropractor massage, getting the adjustments, getting the physical therapy to learn the exercises you're supposed to do, that's the only thing that's keeping the shit together, okay? Because I have bad knees. And I didn't even do nothing. I didn't play sports like that. I played tennis in high school. And that was just because I wanted to, have that extracurricular that you needed in order to, go to college. And so I was on junior varsity the whole time, barely doing shit. But it looked good on my resume, my college application. So there you go. So, I barely did shit in college. I'm in high school. I didn't play sports like that. But yeah. Your body's going to fall apart as you get older. And it is up to you to maintain it. And I think of it this way. Can you think of anything in this world that doesn't need maintenance, that doesn't need to be fixed or will break down eventually? I can think of nothing. So why would you think the human body or human emotions would need maintenance every single day? I have clients that are just like, oh, well, I have to keep doing these breathing exercises every day. Do you have to keep brushing your teeth every day, or you'll get cavities and they'll fall out? Yes, you have to keep doing these breathing exercises every day. Every time you get upset or overwhelmed, we're replacing old coping skills with new coping skills, and you're going to have to do them forever. Just like you're going to have to brush your teeth forever. So start seeing things like that, especially if you go to therapy and your therapist is trying to tell you to do something. Start seeing it like, okay, well, I have to maintain everything else in my body. Why wouldn't I have to maintain my emotions too? Let me see. Is there anything else? Oh, there's going to be constant reminders that you're old. So I like to watch cartoons from the 90s and listen to 90s R&B and listen to 90s hip hop and stuff. And as you get older, not like how these kids don't know who Missy Elliott is. Like, what? Hello? When she came back and was like doing her music again, these kids were just like, oh, that's so cool. That I think she was on somebody's song, and these kids were tweeting like, that's so cool, such and such introduced this new artist, Missy Elliott. And I was just like, hello? What the fuck are you? So there are going to be constant reminders that you're getting older and older. You're going to, slowly turn in either to your parents, or you're going to turn into something that's a little bit better than your parents, but you're still going to do things that occasionally remind you of your parents. Yeah, you're just going to be reminded that you're getting older. And that's the cycle of life, Just get used to it, I guess. I don't know. I try not to make a big deal out of it. I roll my eyes and sigh very loudly when I experience it, but you get used to it. See, is there anything else? So much closer to menopause. So much. That goes with what I said earlier with, being reminded that you're not with child or married or anything on a regular fucking basis. So also, you're so much closer to menopause, and it's very just ew. For me it is, because I want to have kids. I want to have an empire. I want to have a legacy. I want to be able to give what I build to my kids and have this whole thing. If you don't want to have kids, then it's whatever. But it's still annoying to be reminded. you know, especially if you don't want to have kids. And it's like, I shouldn't have to tell you that, especially if I don't know you like that, you know? So either way, it sucks. It sucks being reminded, and it sucks that, you know, if you want to have kids, you're so much closer to menopause, and the older you get, you could have kids with Down syndrome and all sorts of stupid shit just because your insides are old and raggedy. So yeah, that's a feeling that you have to be okay with. But yeah, I guess maybe as you get older, this I don't give a fuck kind of attitude just gets even more better, and you just don't give a fuck about these things either. I don't fucking know, maybe. But yeah, that felt good. Happy birthday to me. I had crab legs. They were delicious. Gonna eat this stuff later, so that's why I kind of like that I eat small meals during the day, because then I can just put it in the refrigerator, and this is dinner. This is, yeah, dinner, because it's only like, what time is it? It's only 3:30. So yeah, this is dinner, and I don't have to worry too much about it. The rest of the day, I'm probably not going to do anything else. I drank last night and fell asleep. I don't like drinking multiple days in a row just because it makes my body feel gross. But, you know, I'll probably just watch TV, and it's raining outside, so even if I wanted to go to the park, couldn't do that. Watch TV and, you know, relax. I had someone else mention to me about the live chat thing, and I was just like, I don't really want to do that though. Like, I mean, I see how it could be fun, the happy hour live chat or something, but I don't want to. So I'm probably just gonna watch some more TV, eat this later, and chill out for the rest of my birthday. I have today and tomorrow off of my day job, so that's a positive. So yeah, hope you guys enjoyed this little chit chat and what is it, mukbang, and discussion about what it's like, as far as from my perspective, what it's like to be in your 30s. So yeah, later days.